Hey, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing good. We're going to be doing a timeless reading. If you don't want to see the astrological portion, I'm going to have the tarot portion timestamped in the comment section below. But that said, I have the charts and transits right next to me. Let us hop in. First and foremost, happy Halloween. Happy Samhain, I think is how you pronounce it. If you celebrate. If not, I hope you're having a good day. We're going to be topping into whatever is going on. So we're just now coming out of eclipse season. We're currently in the full moon still. The moon is in Gemini. I don't know if this is new. I want to say it's new, but Pluto is in Capricorn. It looks like we have probably been in Capricorn for a little bit. I think it was in Aquarius, so I think we've moved into Capricorn. And it is also no longer retrograde. Aside from just those placements that are kind of sticking out to me, we're going to be taking a look at Sun trine Saturn, Moon square Venus, Moon square Neptune, and then Venus trining Uranus, Venus opposing Neptune, and Venus trining Pluto. So I feel like there's a huge focus on interdependence, and if you don't know what interdependence is, that's the ability to shift between hyper-independence and codependence in your relationships. So if we're talking about this in terms of love and relationships, this is you essentially having autonomy within your relationship. So you and your person being together, committed, but also living your own individual lives and investing in yourself and maintaining a sense of individuality. When I see Neptune, to me, Neptune is a planet of individuality, and that's why I'm seeing Venus opposing Neptune right now, especially with Sun trining Saturn and then Moon squaring Venus. I feel like there's this really big need to maintain that sense of independence, and so it's being in a healthy relationship without enmeshing yourself in the other person's problems, right? So if your person comes to you and they have something that they're going through, if they just need you to hold space, you hold that space, but you don't take that on as your own personal problem, and vice versa, right? But that's kind of what I'm feeling like. I'm feeling like there's a new way of approaching relationships in terms of how you view yourself in relationships opposed to how you view yourself in the world. And that's why I'm seeing with like Sun trining Saturn, there's a lot of like organization being brought into your own external reality, and that's because you're essentially taking that time to maintain a sense of individuality in your relationship. And so there may be a little bit of pressure, you know what I mean, between how you're feeling in your relationship opposed to how you're feeling in the world around you. And I feel like these energies right now are really asking you to kind of find that balance, right? Because we just came out of eclipse season. We just had our final lunar eclipse, what was it, on Friday, Saturday, I think it was, and we are what? I don't even know what day it is. It's Tuesday or something, isn't it? So we're just now coming out of that. And I feel like that's kind of where all of this balance is now starting to come in with the Sun trining Saturn. You're really starting to come into this space where you're understanding how you may be blocking your own blessings, like Mars opposing Jupiter, right? How are you getting in the way of the things that are trying to come into your life? Like if you have a relationship that you're dealing with, or you have these new opportunities that you're investing in what ways are you holding yourself back from fully investing in these relationships? And I feel like that has a lot to do with what we just talked about with the sense of enmeshment, the importance of individuality in relationships, and understanding that there is going to be ebbs and flows in your relationships. And so that's where the individuality is important. It's making sure you're not completely putting all of your time and attention into one aspect of your life. It doesn't just have to be relationships. This can also be like career. So if you're somebody who puts all of your time and attention into your career and your finances and you're neglecting your relationship, that's where you're going to start to see this kind of like Sun trine Saturn energy help you balance that, right? And so that's also saying too, is like if you're investing all of your time and energy into your relationship and you're neglecting yourself, or you're neglecting your career or any other of your passions or hobbies, this energy is kind of helping you find that balance. And I feel like it has a lot to do with just a deep sense of your own shadow and a lot of the healing that's coming up for you right now, especially with what do we have, Venus trining Pluto. And so your relationship right now is really helping you uncover some deep wounding to heal on both ends. And it's not through the usual triggering each other. This is just you two showing up for each other, and by doing that, that's giving you the space to actually really come to terms with a lot of the difficult things that you have faced in your life. And with Sun trining Saturn, I feel like that has to do with your relationships around you. So it's like through this relationship and the ebbs and flows of maintaining a sense of connection and individuality, you're starting to understand how every single thing that you've been through has prepared you to be fully invested and present in this relationship. But we're going to go and leave it there. We're going to hop right into the reading. If you want to book a personal reading, subscribe to Patreon, or listen to my music, all of that is in the description. We're going to go ahead and use 3 different decks. I have Book of Thoth, I have the Ethereal Visions, and I have the Magical Alchemy deck, I think it's called. We're going to close that out with that. So yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Keep in mind these are timeless and general. If it doesn't fit, please do not force it. But yeah, hope you guys are doing good. Let's see what comes out for us today. We got already a stack that fell through. So bottom of the deck we have 9 of Swords. Okay, we have a big stack. So I'm going to break this up into like 2 stacks. We're going to go from there. So we have the 4 of Swords, we have the Knight of Wands, we have the Ace of Cups, and we have the Chariot. That's that balance I was talking about. Well, if you didn't see in the astrological portion, this is the balance. I feel like this is you making sure you're still taking that time to invest into yourself, into your life, into your passions, and still maintaining that sense of individuality in this relationship, right? Let's get these now. We have the Temperance, we have the 6 of Wands, we have the High Priestess, and we have the Universe. And so I feel like by you doing this, the universe is bringing in a sense of victory in this relationship. And so this could be a sense of like public recognition in the relationship. This could be somebody deciding maybe it's time for the relationship to become more publicly known, in terms of just not necessarily like plastering it over social media, but this could be something where it's like making sure that friends understand the nature of the relationship, and setting boundaries with anybody around you that may try to approach in a romantic way. It's that kind of energy, right? It's the universe is kind of really helping you understand what a deeper sense of personal victory would look like for you and this person in this relationship. And I feel like that's tied to like a lot of really deep spiritual lessons you're both going through right now. And so I'm kind of seeing this energy here where you're both working through a lot of fears, okay? There's a lot of fears based on past heartbreaks that you both have been through. And I don't feel like this has to do with each other. This could be something where like maybe you guys have had like arguments. No, it doesn't even feel like arguments. It feels like, I feel like there was a phase in the relationship perhaps where like both of your fears and past heartbreaks were getting in the way of moving things forward. And I feel like that's because there was this fear of things not working out. Excuse me. It's almost like there was this fear of things not moving forward or things not working out. But what I think the universe is coming in to show you right now is that there is a major victory to be had in this relationship. If it hasn't already begun, if you haven't already begun to see these changes, I feel like the universe is providing you with a very solid opportunity for you to begin a new emotional cycle in this relationship. So I know a lot of the times when we do these readings, we talk about cycles and we talk about relationships and cycles in relationships. But now I feel like we're getting a deeper look into the cycle that you are starting in this relationship. And I feel like this has a lot to do with essentially both of you making the decision to bring balance to the relationship. I feel like these are 2 people here that have faced their own individual fears. I feel like the universe has both not only supported that, but provided the space to understand what a personal victory would look like for both of you in this relationship. And so I feel like this is somebody who may be overcoming self-limiting beliefs surrounding what is possible for themselves. So this could be somebody who, we're not even talking about these cards. I'm looking at these cards while I'm holding these cards, but this is what I'm talking about now, because it's kind of shifting. So I feel like this is somebody here who has preconceived notions of what is possible in life and relationships dependent on media, how they have viewed relationships, how they view your relationship, maybe just your own past experiences with each other. But I feel like that's all being worked through. I feel like there's a sense of excitement. It's like there's this sense of anticipation before this new opportunity comes in for you both. And I feel like it's because the universe has provided you a sense of healing through this new cycle. And what I'm seeing with the Ace of Cups and the 4 of Swords, this is finding balance within yourself. And by doing so, that's allowing you to move forward in this relationship. I feel like you're both in this space of like, okay, I understand what hasn't worked in the past for me as a person, and I understand what I need to do to be able to bring a sense of balance to myself, to bring balance to the relationship. And again, I feel like that's the push and pull between codependence and hyperindependence. And so I think you both now are understanding that there is an ebb and flow to the ways you guys can support each other. It doesn't always have to be so much as like enmeshing in each other's issues, but providing a stable space for you to process very difficult emotions, as these types of relationships will bring that up for you. I'd like to go and get some clarity on what this whole thing is going on with the Six of Wands, Temperance, and the Universe with the High Priestess. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Princess of Wands, Three of Cups, and the Star. So the Moon reverse at the bottom of the deck. We have the Ace of Wands. We have the Princess of Wands, the Three of Cups, and the Star. Yeah, I feel like somebody here, I don't know, man, this just feels like somebody is ready to, it's like there's a sense of excitement about what's to come. I feel like the relationship has already been established, like we've already kind of covered that in the previous readings. And so I feel like we're kind of getting into the details here. It's like the universe is about to show you exactly what it is you've been waiting for. So if you've been praying for a particular new cycle, or you've been praying for things to move in a particular direction, or if you've been trying to manifest a particular phase of this relationship, I feel like you both are in that space. And this is something where I feel like you two have aligned with each other because you want the same things. But I feel like maybe you were both going about it in different ways. And I feel like that's kind of why there was this sense of maintaining, you know, a sense of independence to understand why you do and say certain things to try to achieve certain results. And I feel like because you both have come to that understanding, it's like the universe truly understands. No, well, I guess, okay, yeah, I'll say it that way. The universe truly understands what it is you want and need. And because of that, it's allowing this to come in for you, right? So there is a sense of like wish fulfillment here, and I feel like this is like, it's going to be a very abundant period in this relationship. Because we just came out of eclipse season, if you made it through eclipse season with this person, congratulations, because it can be a very difficult cycle for closing out cycles. It could be a very difficult time because it forces you to close out certain cycles within yourself. And so if you take the time to do that inner work and you really work through your inner fears, that's what's going to allow these new abundant periods to come in, not only in relationships, but in life in general. But I feel like you're both approaching this in a new, playful kind of way. There's a sense where I feel like there's a deep sense of vulnerability here, and I feel like that has to do with fears of what can happen. That's kind of also, that makes sense with the Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords. And I guess we can go back to the Fool. This is you being very vulnerable about what you've been through. So you may have opened up to this person, or they may have opened up to you about what you've been through in the past. And I feel like these are things that you don't normally share. Like these are very deeply intimate and vulnerable things that you may be sharing. And because of that, I feel like that has completely shifted the way this person views you and this relationship. Keep in mind, man, when you truly open up and become very vulnerable with somebody that you love and that loves you, that is going to shift the relationship into a new phase, in the sense of, instead of trying to control a person and their actions, or getting them to do or say certain things, you know, explain to them what you've been through and your fears about having certain things repeat in a relationship. And that's the way you usually will get people to understand why you ask for or act or say and do certain things in the relationship. And so I feel like as you become more vulnerable, this person is now seeing you as that wish fulfillment, as that abundance. And I feel like that's because there's a sense of mirroring going on here. I feel like this person is understanding that it's like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And I feel like the only reason this person has been able to see that is because you really got very real, you got very honest, you were very vulnerable in saying, hey, I went through this in the past, in my past relationships, you know, such and such happened. I've had this happen with friendships. This has happened with family. I am afraid of this repeating, and this is why I ask for this and do and say the way I do operate. So it's one of those kinds of energies, and I feel like because of that, this person is really truly willing to invest in a deeper way. And it's not to say that there was no initial investment to be had in the first place, but it's keeping in mind that it's like in these types of divine relationships, the cycles are going to become more expansive. And so they start small, right? You start small, you start with the seed, and as you plant that seed, it slowly grows, it sprouts, and it grows into a beautiful tree of this relationship. And with the moon reverse, and with the Four of Cups, and the Tower, Eight of Pentacles, Two of Cups, I know we kind of just pulled all those cards out there, but yeah, Two of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, the Tower, Four of Cups, the moon reverse, back to the Two. I feel like there's about to be a lot revealed to you by this person. And so we've been seeing this whole like plan being put into action. We've been seeing all these kind of things being held back. I don't feel like this person wants to hold back anymore. And I feel like that's because it's like they kind of are in this space where they're now understanding how they've been holding themselves back. But the reason I'm seeing this whole Tower, Eight of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups, that is really intense. This is somebody who it's like, you may not even know how seriously they take you. So let's say like you're in this relationship and you have a general idea of, you know, where you both want to go in the future. You've established that, you know, the passion is there, the love is there, the commitment is there. But the details haven't really been discussed or worked out. That's what I'm seeing this Tower moment coming in is. This is surrounding the very deep, intricate details of how this relationship is going to fit into each other's lives. And I don't feel like you understand that this person really truly sees you as like their exact match. I feel like you match this person in every way, shape, and form. I just don't feel like they've revealed that to you, or may not have fully acted in ways that have revealed how seriously they take you. And I feel like that's because this person is afraid of taking the risk. We keep being drawn back to these three cards, right? Three of Swords, the Fool, and the Nine of Swords. Somebody here is just afraid of taking that risk because of what they've been through in the past. There's a lot of fears, and I feel like they've been stressing themselves out about, should I really do this, right? And it's not so much, it's like, how do I put this? I'm trying to think of a way to put it, because it's not saying that you're not with this person. That's not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing two people that are already invested in each other. But these are two people that are getting really real about how to do this. So we've seen this a lot in the readings. How can we move forward, right? That was like making plans for the future, was like 2 readings ago. And so this is that process. It's an incremental process as you work out the details of your own internal world to be able to implement those external plans. This is usually the thing you have to work through, and I feel like you're both working through this individually. So I'd like to clarify. We're going to go and use the ethereal visions, clarify the whole Two of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, and the Tower. Here we have the Nine of Pentacles. Excuse me. I dropped a card. We have the High Priestess twice. And the Nine of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck we have the Two of Wands. And the Three of Cups again. So we're already getting repeating messages here. We have the High Priestess, Nine of Pentacles, and the Three of Cups. And keep in mind we're clarifying the Tower, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. So I feel like I'm seeing a sense of progression. I'm seeing a sense of progression here. Let me show you, sorry, get the camera to focus. I see a sense of progression. We're going from the Two of Cups to the Three of Cups. That is movement forward. That is coming together for a sense of union. That is essentially, this to me feels like a deeply spiritual union here with the High Priestess and the Three of Cups. Three of Cups can be seen as the card of friendship, can be seen as the card of celebration. I mean, I'm currently recording this on, Halloween or Samhain, and that's that kind of energy where I feel like the veil is very thin. And I feel like this person is having a lot of realizations about you and this relationship, the importance of you and this relationship, not only to themselves, but to their life. So I feel like this is somebody here who maybe felt like they had to be in a certain financial status, or they had to have a certain level of success to be able to move forward in this relationship. But what this person is seeing, and I feel like they're getting this advice from friends. I feel like there's somebody that this person has been confiding in that is showing them that it's like you don't have to have it all figured out in order for you to be invested in this relationship. And I feel like that's kind of why we're seeing this Two of Wands to the Four of Wands and the Three of Pentacles and then the Page of Cups. And I'll take the World as well. Okay? So I feel like this is somebody here who's like finally ready to, I don't even want to say make an offer, because I feel like there's already a sense of an offer that has been made. This to me feels like somebody is ready to start that new cycle with you. And so if this is something where it's like maybe things were kind of, it's not that they were up in the air, but it's more so, I felt like, because remember we were doing these readings and there was a sense of a little bit of a pause. And the pause wasn't, it wasn't like a separation, it wasn't a breakup, it was more of a sense of reflection. And I feel like that reflection again is, how do we do this? That's why I feel like we're kind of getting the repeating messages now. How do we do this? It's like you both want this, okay? So making a decision, trying to gain insight, forming a plan of action, because I feel like marriage is in the cards here. There is a sense of really doing this seriously, moving it into the physical. So it may have been a very energetic connection. This could be, you could have had conversations about this, but I feel like now this is somebody who wants to come forward and really tell you exactly what they want. So if they've kind of hinted at what they wanted, but they haven't actually come forward and say, hey, I want to do this, this, that, and that. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. That's what I'm seeing now coming in. And so it's a lot of energy that was kind of stuck in this space of like, almost in a sense of limbo, not necessarily understanding how to put those plans into action. And I feel like that's because there may have been a little bit of lack of experience in that realm. So this could be somebody where they don't necessarily have the experience of investing in healthy relationships. I feel like this is both of you. And through this relationship, you're understanding both through individual reflection and connecting with this person that there are more possibilities for this to work than not. And so this is somebody who's no longer looking at why things won't work, or why this is not good, or why this isn't good. This is somebody who is now understanding that it's like they're now focusing on all of the positive aspects of this relationship. They're understanding that it's like there has been a very deep sense of stability between you two. I feel like these are two people who have overcome a lot of issues together, both as individuals and as a couple. And I feel like this person is seeing you as somebody who can be that supportive individual for them. They're seeing you as somebody that is like, not only do they see you as your person, as their person, and the person they want to marry and spend their life with, but they're also seeing you for you as an individual. You know what I mean? So maybe in the past that like this person was maybe putting you on a pedestal and they were kind of romanticizing the relationship, kind of had this fairy tale idea. Maybe it was both of you, right? Maybe you were both in this space of like, oh, this is like an airy fairy, very beautiful and ethereal energy. But now, as you're getting closer to this person and as you're getting to know each other as individuals, that's what's really grounding the energy here. And that's what's causing you both to see each other in a different way. And by doing that, falling deeper in love with each other and really truly seeing the physical manifestation of what you two have been conceptualizing together, whether that's energetically or just on an emotional level. And so it's like you've been building the spiritual, energetic, and emotional connection, and now it's time to start bridging that gap and building it physically. And that's going to look like all different kinds of things for all different kinds of situations. But I'm seeing here where it's like two people are finally really just like, okay, we have Temperance, we have the Magician, we have the King of Cups, we have the Hierophant. Yeah, so it's like if you, how do I even put it? If there has been any sense of disconnect, right? Keep in mind relationships go through periods of connection, disconnection, rupture and repair through conflicts and through just working through your own individual issues. If there was any concern about whether or not this was going to move forward, I feel like you both maybe were amplifying that. It wasn't necessarily that you didn't want to move forward, but I think you two are in this space where your lives are very different. These are two people who live very different types of lives, and there was maybe a question of like, well, what needs to be sacrificed in order for this relationship to move forward? And I feel like that was the main concern here. I think this is going both ways. I feel like you both are now understanding that it's like there doesn't really have to be much of a sacrifice here. I mean, there could be things that need to be walked away from. Eight of Cups. There could just be particular lifestyles, particular ways of thinking, just particular like emotional cycles or karmic cycles or relationships that needed to be let go of. I'm not really seeing any type of like karmic relationships that are even interfering in any way, shape, or form. I feel like this is somebody who just really needed to take time to process the intensity of the emotions and the importance of the connection. That's what I feel like I'm seeing, right? This is somebody who had a lot of preconceived notions about what love was supposed to look like or what relationships were supposed to look like. And through this connection, you're both now understanding that like it doesn't have to be traditional, it doesn't have to be conventional, it doesn't have to make sense. It only has to make sense to you two. So long as you two understand each other and understand the love that you're building, anybody else's opinions really just don't matter. And I feel like that's what we're seeing here. This is somebody who is no longer 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to understand, okay, how can I do this? How can we do this? This is somebody who is looking at this like permanently. This is somebody who's just like, okay, I'm no longer going to be indecisive. I want this for sure. Like with the King of Cups and the Hierophant, this is like 100% decided. This is what I want. I'm going to make this happen. Okay, and I feel like this person is now getting themselves to a place where they're, I think they needed to kind of just take time to emotionally stabilize. So with the Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords and the Fool from earlier, there was a period between this in this relationship where I feel like you both had to stabilize. You came together, you may have triggered a lot of things in each other, you fell in love with each other, and by doing that and loving each other properly, remember we talked about, it brought up a lot of things for you both. And you guys are both letting your walls down slowly but surely. It's a process and you're becoming more vulnerable. And really like demonstrating loyalty, demonstrating commitment. Because commitment and loyalty are a decision. Falling in love is easy. Staying in love is what can be difficult. And I feel like that's where a lot of people get to on this journey, where that's where the unconditional love really comes in handy, because everybody is going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. They're going to make mistakes. And it's a matter of understanding that those mistakes don't define you as people, and they don't define the relationship. Every single relationship will have conflicts and mistakes. Every single one. And if they don't, then you might not be that close with this person, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But in these kinds of connections that we're reading for, that's what I'm seeing here. Okay, I'm seeing two people that are very much understanding the importance of each other, not just for, the enjoyment of being in love, but I think you're both now understanding that it's like you can really build something solid together. You can really build a solid future together. Let's get some final clarity on this before we close out. We have the Queen of Wands, we have the Seven of Cups, and whatever that was. 1 second. Alright. That is the Hanged Man, but it came out in the reverse, so I'll take it. Queen of Cups, bottom of the deck. So we have counterparts. We have Queen of Cups, King of Cups. I don't normally take reversals in this deck, but I'll take it. So we have the Seven of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the Hanged Man reverse. I feel like somebody here's finally gained the clarity they needed. I feel like there was a little bit of a pause, not necessarily like in the relationship, but in your individual lives. That's what I'm feeling like. I feel like there was a sense of trying to understand yourselves on the individual level in order to understand how to move forward in this relationship. Because it's really easy to get enmeshed and lost in another person when you enter these relationships. And so that's why I feel like we're in this space of maintaining a sense of individuality to understand what is important to you. Everybody has a choice. Free will is a thing, right? And I feel like that, and this is somebody who is like, they took the time to understand what's important to them on the individual level. It's not saying that they're questioning you or the relationship. This is somebody who's looking at their own life, looking at every decision they've made up until this point and how it has got them to where they are. And I feel like that is both of you. That is both of you looking at your past relationships, your past friendships, the ways you've navigated in the world, and the way you show up currently. And how all of those things impact your relationship now. And that's both of you being very honest about that with yourselves. And I feel like a really deep sense of emotional maturity is entering this connection. King of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles, right? Things are getting very serious and very stable and solid, and I feel like that's because the love is there. Like remember, like building a relationship, a healthy relationship, that just takes time. And so you can come together in these unions, and that's all really amazing, but it's still going to take time to build. And I feel like that's the process now. You're both like fully invested in the building of the relationship, not necessarily getting super lost in the airiness of the depths of the emotions. This is now putting those emotions into perspective and how that's going to impact your futures together, right? Final two cards, letting your walls down to be able to open yourself up to receiving this on both ends. No longer upholding such rigid boundaries that prevents connection, right? I'm going to close this out. We're almost out of time. Okay. Okay. We have healing. Says, candle flame burn this hour, bring to me your healing power. Then we have health. Bottom of the deck, we have best possible decision. That says, Artemis, goddess of the bow, help me see what must be known. Health says, Mother Earth sweet, Mother Earth bright, bring to me your health and might. So I feel like you both are essentially choosing to heal this connection. Anything that has happened that has caused disconnection is choosing to be worked through and healed. But more than anything, I feel like you two, it's like you guys are choosing what is good for you. I feel like these are two people choosing something that is healthy. And I feel like that's you choosing each other, because I feel like this is a healthy relationship and is something that is bringing a sense of peace and good cheer into your lives. I feel like this is something you both have been looking for a long time, and now that you found it, there's no question in your minds that this is the direction for you both to move in. So congratulations, happy Halloween, happy Samhain. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I appreciate you watching. If you want to book a personal, listen to Patreon, or listen to my music, all of that's in the description. I'm never going to contact you for a reading in any way, shape, or form. I love you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next reading. Goodbye.